This young and determined Denver Broncos team is bouncing back from last night's tough loss to the Cincinnati Bengals even better than I expected. That's why I'm still confident. We're not just making the playoffs, but we're going to make an impact once we're there. If you're new here, my name's Ben, and I'm a diehard Denver Broncos fan. If you believe in this team as much as I do, hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps the channel and the YouTube algorithm. Now, let's talk about where we are. We've had 3 chances to secure our spot, and we've missed 2 of them. Coach Sean Payton even moved the game to Thursday night to give us extra preparation time, but we couldn't get the win. After a loss like that, you'd expect some teams to lose hope, to give up. We've seen it before. Look at the Chicago Bears. After their crushing loss to the Washington Commanders on that Hail Mary, their season fell apart. They haven't won a game since, and their quarterback is struggling. But that's not happening here. Even after the heartbreak of missing that field goal and going into overtime with Joe Burrow, this team hasn't quit. Not one bit. From the head coach to every single player, they're staying focused and fighting hard. The first thing Coach Sean Payton said after the game? When Coach Sean Payton stepped up to the podium, the first thing he said was, "I'm insanely proud of these guys and the fight they showed." That kind of confidence sets the tone for the whole team. Then there's Zach Allen. Someone asked him, "Do you feel different now? You've had 3 chances, and now it's down to 1. Is there extra pressure?" Without missing a beat, he looked straight into the camera and said, "Nope, not at all. I feel 0 pressure. We're going to turn the page on Monday and get this done. We're going to beat the Chiefs." And here's the thing, it's not just talk. Beating the Chiefs' backups is very doable. We even beat them at home last year with a quarterback that Sean Payton disliked so much, he paid more dead cap money to move on from him than anyone else in NFL history. That tells you how determined this team is to keep moving forward. Now, let's talk about Bo Nix. His response to the loss? No blame, no excuses. He said, "It was actually a lot of fun going toe-to-toe with Joe Burrow, but I feel like I let the team down, and I'm going to keep practicing to make sure I never let them down again." That's exactly the kind of resolve you want in a player. But let's be clear, Bo Nix hasn't let anyone down. He's had one of the best seasons a rookie quarterback has ever had. Period. With 30 total touchdowns, he's now tied with NFL greats like Justin Herbert, Baker Mayfield, and Russell Wilson in their rookie seasons. And let's not forget Peyton Manning, another name Bo Nix is starting to be compared to. What an incredible rookie season this has been, especially considering we didn't even know if Bo Nix would start as the Broncos quarterback this year. At the start of the season, there was a quarterback competition. I even had a great off-season interview with Cecil Lammey where we discussed the purpose of this year. Back then, we were only expected to win 5 games, and we agreed that the real goal was to figure out if Bo Nix could be the quarterback of the future. Would he start right away, maybe in Seattle, or was that the reason we paid Jarrett Stidham? Well, Bo Nix started in week 1, and since then, he's only gotten better every single week. Last night was a perfect example of just how much he's grown. What made last night's loss so tough to swallow is that none of it was Bo Nix's fault. None. He went head-to-head with 2 former MVPs, Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes, and played incredibly well. Take his throw from the 40-yard line to 9 yards deep in the end zone, the longest throw in the entire league this year. It was jaw-dropping. But that wasn't even his best moment. His second best throw of the night was that insane completion to Marvin Mims. With just 8 seconds left, he drove the team down the field to force overtime. Bo Nix has consistently risen to the challenge and exceeded expectations this season. Bo Nix has completely shattered our expectations for this season. Over the last 2 weeks, when everything was on the line, win, and you're in the playoffs, he has delivered performances that any veteran quarterback would be proud of, and he's doing this as a rookie, with just 16 games as an NFL starter under his belt. Let's look at the numbers. In these 2 critical weeks, facing tough defenses like the Los Angeles Chargers, he's thrown for nearly 500 yards, racked up 5 passing touchdowns, and only had 1 interception. That's incredible, especially considering the pressure of these must-win games. And let's be clear, none of this recent struggle has been on Bo Nix. If anything, it's been the Broncos' defense that's fallen short. Bo has done his part and more, proving himself on the biggest stage. Even former NFL quarterbacks like Chase Daniel are taking notice. He's publicly praised Bo Nix, saying this was a huge game for the rookie, and he delivered under the brightest lights. Watching last night's game didn't feel like just one regular season matchup. It felt like 4 or 5 games rolled into one. It was intense, with a true playoff atmosphere, and Bo Nix rose to the occasion. As Broncos fans, we should all be thrilled with what we're seeing. This isn't just about winning games, it's about the future of our team, and Bo Nix is proving he's the real deal. The future looks brighter than ever for the Broncos. I believe our best days are still ahead of us. Our defense is stronger than it was last year, and that's saying a lot. Remember last season? Sean Payton led the team to a win against the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo. That wasn't just any game. The Bills had just held a players-only meeting, and Von Miller had rallied his team, knowing it was a must-win situation. Despite all that, the Broncos came in with a quarterback Sean Payton didn't even like, and still won. Fast forward to now, the Bills are dealing with injuries and have moved on from key players like Stephon Diggs. I think we match up really well against them, and I'm confident we're still making the playoffs. What's even more exciting is the accountability in this team. No finger pointing, no blaming coaches or play calls. Take Riley Moss, for example. After the game, he came out and said, "I didn't play well. Sometimes you've got to eat a tough sandwich and own it." Then there's Pat Certain, who backed him up immediately, saying, "Riley didn't have his best game, but I promise you he'll make a big play next week." Both of them are focused on what's ahead. They're not talking about just one more game, they're thinking long term. This young core of players, combined with Sean Payton's leadership, gives me more confidence than ever. Over the next 5 years, this team is poised to do incredible things. The future is ours. Here's the rewritten and improved version of the sixth section. I firmly believe the Denver Broncos are on track to win a Super Bowl. Think about what we've overcome. We're carrying the largest dead cap hit in NFL history. We're without the first-round picks we traded for Russell Wilson. We're also missing the picks we gave up for Sean Payton. Yet here we are. We've got David Shaw in the front office helping us identify the right talent, and we're finally putting most of Russell Wilson's dead cap hit behind us. The future isn't just bright for the next 5 years. It's shining right now. Even after last night's tough loss, we still have a 61% chance of making the playoffs. That's incredible. Imagine if someone told you last Christmas Eve, after that brutal loss to the injury-ridden New England Patriots, that a year later we'd be facing the Chiefs at home with a shot at the playoffs. You'd have been over the moon. And here we are. We've got a coach who knows how to build a winning culture and acquire top talent. Sure, Sean Payton isn't perfect. There are areas like clock management and play calling decisions that could improve. But no coach excels at everything. Let's focus on what he does best, creating a team culture built for championships and leading us with his proven ability to win it all. Looking ahead, we've got exciting content coming up this week. I'll be interviewing a Kansas City Chiefs insider to preview our matchup and find out what to expect with Carson Wentz and other players who might sit out. We'll also take a deep dive into how we match up with the Buffalo Bills in the weeks to come. Thank you all for sticking with me and this team. Broncos country, the journey isn't over yet. We've got so much to look forward to.